The Browns wrapped up the 2023 draft today here at their team's headquarters in Berea. So let's wrap it up this way. Let's all call out our favorite picks from this draft by Andrew Berry and company. Mary Kay, of the 8 picks the Browns made, actually no, it was 7 after they traded out of that 7th round pick. So of the 7 picks the Browns made, who was your favorite?
Well, there was one that I was intrigued with, not because I think he's going to have a major impact on the field anytime soon, but they did go ahead and draft a developmental quarterback in Dorian Thompson-Robinson from UCLA. And the interesting thing about him is he's close friends with Deshaun Watson. I think, once again, Deshaun Watson had some input in bringing Dorian Thompson-Robinson into the room. He's now surrounded by a network of really close friends. Joshua Dobbs and Deshaun Watson go way back to their high school days together, and I think he needs that kind of support. So I thought that was kind of interesting. They also have a similar skill set.
Yeah, and actually I always think the building of that quarterback room, especially when there's an established starter, is interesting. And the way the Browns have chosen to do it is to go really young behind Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson even talked about that for him. Like, he was looking forward to being able to work on that developing because, you know, he's not in a situation where he has to go out there and start right away and worry about all the stressors that come with that. And I think because he's gotten a chance to work out with Deshaun Watson already, pick up some pointers, I think it's understandable to see why he's excited to get to keep doing that now that they're in the NFL together.
Okay, Ashley, who was your favorite pick from this draft?
I'm going to go with a guy that we talked about yesterday a little bit. I'm going to go with Siaki Ika. I mean, I really wanted them to beef up this interior of their defensive line, and I think with him, with Dalvin Tomlinson, it just looks totally different than it did last year. You have these big guys up front who can still move really well. It's kind of a Schwartzism, Andrew Berry said yesterday, and I just think they needed more help for Dalvin Tomlinson, and I'm excited to see what he looks like out in the field.
And Mary Kay, we got to hear from Siaki today, and he kind of lived up to it. Great personality, a guy that seems excited to be here, and also has already declared he's going to be Myles Garrett's best friend.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. I did ask him about Myles and playing with Myles, and he did say that Myles would be his new best friend, that Myles just doesn't know it yet, and so he probably knows it by now. So that was kind of funny. I think he understands that you have to get on Myles' good side, that you have to kind of fall in line, and he is the leader of that line.
And I'm going to go with another guy that the Browns picked today. I'm going to go with Isaiah McGuire. He is an edge rusher, and I thought that was such an important position for them to address. Of course, they have Garrett, who we mentioned. They have Obo Okoronkwo, but I just think it's still a thin position. So, Mary Kay, to add someone there who can possibly step in and help right away, and to do it in the 4th round, there could be a lot of value in that pick.
Yeah, I really think so. They had to get somebody else in here. They need that 3rd edge rusher to come up with about half a dozen sacks is what I'm thinking. Don't know if it'll be possible for one of these young guys to do, but I think that's where the bar is set, and that's what you can expect from an edge rusher in Jim Schwartz's defense.
And Ashley, even if they can just get that half dozen sacks and some kind of combo or something, they've got to figure out a way to put it together.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just really important compared to when you look at the production from last year and that trio of Jadeveon Clowney, Alex Wright, and Isaiah Thomas only combined for 3 total sacks. So they definitely need the production to be more like 2021. And again, I think with Isaiah, he's from an SEC school. We know the Browns are drawn to that because of the level of competition. So I do think it makes sense for where he was drafted.
Now, the other name I was going to say was Cedric Tillman. He was in town today, too, and we got to hear from him, Mary Kay.
Yeah, you know, there are a couple of other intriguing names that we haven't mentioned yet. Again, Cedric Tillman, I really liked that pick because I felt Deshaun Watson needed another weapon. And then we all can't wait to see DeJuan Jones showing up on campus. They're talking about him like he's a man mountain, like we've never seen anybody this big before in our entire lives. So I cannot wait to see him.
Well, I mean, Ashley, Siaki Ika basically said he was surprised that they drafted somebody who was bigger than him.
Yeah, even he looked surprised. And yesterday on this video, on our podcast, like we of course talked about, wow, Siaki Ika even has about 10 or so pounds on Dalvin Tomlinson, who we already thought was so big, prototypical for what this room has had. So definitely interesting when that new big defensive tackle you just drafted also says, hey, that new offensive tackle, I can't believe you found somebody bigger than me, but good for you for doing so.
All right, the Browns 2023 class is in the books. They'll be in town over the coming weeks. We'll get to meet all of them at rookie minicamp in a couple of weekends here in Berea. We'll have full coverage of the draft, everything that happened, and of course, as the off-season program rolls forward, we'll cover it all at cleveland.com/Browns.